15 things I wish I knew as a new player in REPO. Let's start off with fixing your visual settings. To do this, press pause, go to graphics settings, and turn off all the filters and set pixelation to small. I will provide an on-screen example. It does kind of take away from the horror vibe a little bit, so maybe you don't want to turn off everything. Next, make sure you share your HP with a teammate before consuming a full health pack. Now also, these aren't really ranked, but the last tip is probably going to be the most useful, so make sure to stick to the end. If you each have 60 HP, the best way to max a health pack is one of you shares as much health as you can to the other person, then take the health pack and make the most of it. Health is costly, so do this when you can. It's good to know that the cart, mini cart, and extraction have cushion on the bottom. What this means is that you can toss valuables on them freely without having to worry about them getting damaged. Just watch out for them bouncing or rolling off the cushion. If you have ever gone back for a shop item or even one of your carts, just know you risked your life for no reason. All shop items and carts will respawn back in the truck on your next run. If used, they will still need to be recharged. Only items that blow up, like grenades, stuns, and mines, won't respawn when used. I wish I knew how to use some of these sleeper shop items. I made the tragic mistake of calling the tumble launch upgrade and roll drone useless. I found out tumble launch can be very useful for traveling, allowing you to cover a lot of ground without wasting much stamina. And you can deal damage to enemies if you can accurately land it. Just be careful not to put yourself into a bad spot or fall into a pit. With the roll drone, you can use it to get back to the ship quickly and avoid the monster mayhem on the way out. You can even combine it with a melee weapon like the inflatable hammer and basically be a walking explosive. I go over more of the shop items in my full beginner shop items guide, which I will tag here and at the end of the video. I wish I knew which skill upgrades to buy first. When you die, you keep them and should buy them before most shop items, except for maybe the feather drone, low gravity drone, and indestructible drone. But for skill upgrades, prioritize strength. This will make sense later. Then you're going to want to do health, then sprint speed, then you can start doing stamina, range, double jump, tumble launch, and map player count upgrades. You can use valuables as a weapon for smaller enemies. Small valuables will stun them and do pretty good damage. For bigger enemies, you will need a medium-sized valuable to stun and do decent damage. Just maybe don't want to waste a valuable on Trudge, who has 500 health and probably won't die from just one medium valuable. You can swing valuables, or if strong enough, you're able to scroll wheel them and create enough power that way. We have now reached the midway point of the video. If you're finding this information useful, would greatly appreciate it if you click the subscribe button down below. Also, I will be hosting a REPO PvP tournament this weekend on Saturday at 12 PST. Join the Discord down below and type REPO in the hashtag REPO Tourney channel. To join, you must also be subscribed and like the video. First place winner will take home $50. Being a YouTube member is not required, but if you want to donate and help financially support the tournaments, greatly appreciated. Now back to the video. This is probably known by most of you, but there is a secret room in the shop. Just find the panel that opens, get up there by tumbling, carrying your friends, or a shockwave grenade. Up here you can find the duct tape grenade and human grenade. However, it is possible that they don't spawn. You should also know that enemies have their own strength breakpoints. When you have enough strength, you can lift an enemy off the ground and slam them or throw them. This can be done more effectively with friends by collectively grabbing enemies, picking them up, and slamming them. When you are solo grabbing enemies, be aware that there is a sort of grab timer. When you hold onto an enemy for a few seconds, it will break your grip. To counter this, let go and re-grab after each slam. This clown is actually a really good weapon. You can use it to not only bash enemies, but if you grab its nose 3 times, it turns into a bomb, dealing up to 250 damage. Melee weapons are pretty difficult to use, but here are some of the mechanics I wish I knew about. One of them is swiping across the screen, bringing out the weapon, and then putting it away after. This allows you to get good controlled swings without letting the momentum take over and losing control. To get your weapon to register, you do have to generate enough swing momentum, so make sure you give these weapons some distance to gain speed to connect against enemies. You can also even throw these melee weapons if you really want to keep your distance. I personally do not like tryhard glitches, especially in games like this, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't share these. Working as of the time I made this video, there are 2 big glitches. One being infinite ammo glitch. When your weapon runs out of charge, if you lightly tap it with the charge drone, it will have infinite shots. Very OP with the trank gun and makes the trank gun the best item in the game. If you want to save money on health when in the shop, you can carry a health pack to the truck and spam E as the engine is revving. Keep spamming E as the screen goes black, then once the screen comes back, if done successfully, you would have gained HP for free. Now that you can see well with the settings mentioned earlier, how do you avoid enemy sight? Some enemies are literally blind, but most of them might as well be. If you are standing at the right distance, an enemy will not see you. If you are crouched, the distance is significantly closer until they will register you. And if you are crouched and pushed under something like a table or a valuable, you are basically invisible. Almost nothing can find you with vision unless it watches you go into where you are hiding. The only thing is avoiding the enemies that you can't look at, like Peeper and Shadow Child. And of course being quiet with sound-based enemies. I would have also liked to know how the spawns work. It's pretty deep, but here are the main concepts that you need to know. Monster type spawn depending on the world level. Here are the lists for monster levels and spawn scaling by world level. There is about a 5% chance that a level 3 monster can be replaced with multiple lower level enemies as follows. So in level 1, instead of one level 3 enemy, you can get 3 bow ties. Monsters will remain idle for a short time off the start or until you get close enough. They will also despawn when far enough and respawn based off how long you've been in the match. If you stay in the match for over an hour, monsters will begin to respawn instantly. Killing monsters does multiply its respawn time by 3, and monsters will always respawn as the same pool as when you entered. You should also know that being noisy will decrease the respawn times. So items such as animal crate, piano, etc. that create noise will decrease respawn time. Before I get into the number 1, make sure to comment down below your best tip for REPO. I am working on a 50 plus tips and tricks video, and I want to make sure I have the best advice, so make sure to give me your best, and if you teach me something new, I'll mention you in that video. For tip number 1, sometimes to beat the monster, you gotta be the monster. By this, I mean I wish I knew how to deal with enemies. The beamer is easy to dodge. You either have to duck or jump his laser attack, then jump or pull back when he kicks. He does the same attack each time, so just be aware of that. The blind guy can be baited to shoot by making noise. He also falls down on any stairs, even if it's one step. The duck can be killed by getting it to sit in the extraction, a cauldron, fire, or a pit. There's so much more to go over with these, and I already made a full video, so make sure to check that out to learn how to deal with all 19 monsters. Hope you guys did find this video helpful. Again, make sure to like and subscribe to Super Cali 8, and until next time, love ya, see ya.